Wouldn't it be nice if we could get our website stats sent to us automatically on Slack whenever we wanted, instead of having to manually extract and review reports, for example, from Google Search Console? I'm Automation Coach, and in this video, that's exactly what we're going to do together. This is a make.com scenario, and what it does is it gets a report from Google Search Console and ultimately sends it to Slack. You can see it here on the left-hand side. It automatically looks up all my top performing website posts and sends me a Slack message showing me what posts they were in the last month, how many clicks they got, what Google position it is, and even formatted as a handy to-do list for me to go and review. Let's dive straight into how you can do it too. If you use my make.com blueprint, which I'll link to in the description below, which is part of my school community, you can import it to get a shortcut to get this straight away by pressing the 3 dots, import blueprint. This video assumes you know a little bit about make.com already, and we'll dive straight into this new scenario. The first one that you're going to need is Google Search Console. So right click, add module, Google Search Console, and this one's run a report. There are some things it allows you to do. First, you add your site URL, and that's just a drop-down option of the website property that you have on Google Search Console. And then it lets you do a start date and an end date. But it's quite a strange module where when you type a date, it doesn't always work perfectly. So the way to do it correctly, and let's say that you wanted to do it on a scheduled basis, for instance, here we're doing it from the last month, so 30 days ago to yesterday. The way we're doing that is we're using the function format date with add days nested inside it with now as the timestamp, minus 30, which is 30 days ago, and then the format month, month, day, day, year, 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 year. I found that doing month, month, day, day works consistently well with Google Search Console rather than day, day, month, month. So hopefully that makes sense. And then equally for the end date, we're doing the same thing again, but this time we're doing 1 day ago because it's from 30 days ago to yesterday. So you can imagine if we schedule it to run on the 1st of January, we actually want it to go back 30 days to the 1st of December and do the whole month up until yesterday, which will be 31st of December. So start date and end date like that. And then here you can select what dimensions you want. So Google Search Console gives you these available dimensions: date, query, page, country, device, and search appearance. Query being the search term that people use to land on the page. Page is just a page URL. So in this example, we're just ticking page URL, and everything else I'm leaving as default, except for the limit, which is how many results would you like it to share? As in, of the top pages, how many do you want to get into your Slack? Now, the way that I formatted it over here as a checkpoint list means that it's limited to about roughly 20 via Slack. So I've done 14 here, it's limited to 10 on Slack when you use these checkbox options. And the reason I've done 14 will become clear in a second. It's always a good idea just to right click and press run this module only to get your results. Once you've got the results, the next one we're going to do is we're going to set it as a variable. So when you run this, it will come back with multiple bundles. A page, the clicks, the position, and you want to set this as a variable next, each one. And here we have a filter, so add a module, set variable, and you would connect it up like that to Google Search Console, right? And once you've done that, we then want to create a filter, which you can filter which pages Google Search Console is going to give you the results for. So for example, if you're only interested in your blog subdomain, then you could filter it by saying, of the page URLs you give me, I only want those that contain /blog. So you can see here in my example that all of them are just /blog. Those were the only page URLs I was interested in. So that puts the filter in here. So if any do not make that criteria, it doesn't go forward. But if they do, then for each page, I want to set it as a variable. And the reason I'm doing this is now to format it nicely in Slack. You could take it and do whatever you want with it, but this is where the magic happens in terms of sending it to Slack. So using this code, and either take a screenshot from this video or again, go to my school community. There's a link below with the blueprint, which will give you all this code. We are creating a JSON bundle for each one. So without going into the specifics, but we've got the page URL, which we're given. we've got the clicks, as in the number of clicks it's received from Google, and we've got the position as well. And here you can see my example, I have formatted it with these checkboxes because I can then action them and know that I have checked them, or if I'm giving to a colleague, they have checked it. I can see if they've ticked it off or not. And that's what this value relates to, because every checkbox needs to have a unique key, and the key in this case is the page URL, because anywhere you click here will tick that box. See how I'm clicking anywhere? So every time it will make this variable and set those. Next is the magic. This is the iterator. Because when we run this report, we get multiple URLs. It gives it to you as multiple bundles, and we want to run through each of them and join them together into one single message. And that's what the iterator does. So we're setting it one at a time as a variable. So each page URL comes here and is set as a variable called setPage. Then the iterator, we put setPage in here, and we then put the next one here, which is a text aggregator, which joins them all together into one message. So if we open this up, this is the text aggregator. For the source module, we've got Google Search Console. For row separator, we've got other, and then we've put a comma here. It'll become clear in a second why, but we put a comma. And then in the text, we're putting this variable setPage. So what it's doing, you can see by this gray shadow, it's running this in repeat. So it's getting the bundle, setting it as a variable, putting it through the iterator, then it comes back, get the next bundle, set it as a variable, join it together. Get the next bundle, set the variable, join it together. So it's running through all of them until it's got all of them together. And then we move to Slack, and this is where it gets exciting. So in Slack, once you've connected Slack, and you might need to add make.com, which is called, or used to be called Integromat. So you might see it as Integromat. You may, in the Slack channels that you would like it to be received, need to add it as an app. So to do that, you right click within Slack channel, and then there's some details where you can go to apps, and then you can add Integromat, but you'll need to connect it first. Then here, enter a channel ID or name. So you want to select from the list. Channel type, it's up to you, but here I've selected direct message, but you could post it into a public or private channel. Who you're sending it to, you can either map it by ID as I've done here, or untick that and select a drop-down list. And there's two options. The first one is just a normal text message, and here you can write whatever you want. Or the second option is Slack comes with this ability to send blocks, which you can see here. It's a bit of a formatted message. And how you design the blocks is using JSON, and Slack has a block tool online that you can search. But otherwise, you can use this example. And what we're doing, we've set the sort of introduction of the block. So here you can see in JSON, the blocks, and then we've got this header, which you can see here. These retailer pages need checking, or these blog posts need checking, whatever it is, which you can change the title for as you wish. These blog pages need checking. Some text. Hey, automation coach, the following pages received the most Google traffic in the last 30 days. You may want to check them. You can see that here. Hey, automation coach. And if you wanted to tag someone, then what you need to do is you need to put it in these, and then you put @ and then their user ID, which is usually something random like this. And you can find that by going to their profile on Slack, clicking the 3 dots, and then get profile ID. That's how you tag someone within blocks. The following pages received the most Google traffic in the last 30 days. You may want to check them. And then we move to our checkbox blocks. And here is where we're putting in the combined details. So it does that all. And what's quite nice is that JSON, when you have multiple, you're supposed to separate them with a comma, except for the last one. Well, we do that automatically here with the comma separator. So every time there's another one which goes underneath, it'll put the comma here, which makes the JSON valid, except for the last one, which you don't want. And so all of that's in this little variable here, and then at the end, we close it off here. If you decide to use the blocks, this overrides text. So no matter what you put in here, if you use both, only the blocks will get sent to Slack, not the text here. And that's it. So once you press go, this runs on Google Search Console. It gets the report. It gives you all the links. Then one by one, it combines it together very quickly. And then you get this lovely Slack message over here, which gives me the link. It's had 11,000 clicks in the last 30 days, and it's Google position number 5. I could have put the search term there, for example, so I know what people are searching to land on that page, and other details as well. And then here, the idea is that I'll check them just to make sure that they've got good call to actions because they're getting lots of traffic. And so if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Always happy to help. And otherwise, I do ask, please come and join my school community where you can get this blueprint. Head to Automation Coach. I'll put a link below to my school community. This tutorial is under Master AI for Marketing, and you'll find a tutorial called something like Get Website Stats into Slack automatically. And here you can get the make.com blueprint, which contains all this code that you've been seeing today. If you're new to AI, then I also have a ChatGPT Beginner to Pro course, which teaches from the very beginning how to use ChatGPT, how to set it as private, prompts like a pro, and more. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more.